growing up in Houston, Texas, that was a milestone. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Barbara Joy. In 1964, Fannie Lou Haynes traveled from Mississippi to Sunflower County with the MPSD, the Free Democratic Party. She and her two girlfriends traveled to Atlantic City so that they may speak at the Democratic National Convention. After hearing the speech of Dr. Martin Luther King and hearing Andrew Young and all the great orators, Fannie Lou said to herself, wow, they not going to hear me. And they let Fannie Lou stand to the podium. And I've always wondered, was it a ploy to embarrass her, the daughter of a sharecropper in Mississippi? And as Fannie Lou stood there at the Democratic National Convention, she bowed her head and said, Lord, I'm so tired of being sitting down. And she told from her heart of the personal experiences of the Negroes in Mississippi. She told her personal experiences of she hadn't experienced. The television cameras rolled. The newsmen were there, crouched. Fannie Lou Haynes tells her story. They told them, cut the camera so that it won't be broadcast, but it was too late. Fannie Lou Haynes, in 76, put a face, life, meat on the bones of slavery and the degradation of the Negroes in Mississippi. When you're talking about Barbara Joy, the same Democratic National Convention, she had risen like a good friend. And then she now was invited as one of the guest speakers. Time, work, and worthiness gives us that thing that we need to rise above the top. That's what happened to Barbara Joy. But Barbara, unlike Stephanie Tubbs Jones, grew up in poor family. Barbara had her two sisters, Benny and Rosemary. But one great pillar that she had in her life was her Grandpa Pat. Oh, he was something else. When the other one wants to go back to church on Sunday evening and sing praises and everything else, yeah, Barbara said, I want to stay with you, Grandpa, because when I'm with you, you teach me more than I ever would know about people and church. And so what he did, he would take her around with her. And Barbara would tell people, I learned all I know, not in kindergarten like the book says, but from a junk man. Because that's what my daddy was. He would collect junk. Anything and everything that anybody put out to the curb, my grandpa would get it. And we'd take it home and we'd separate it and we'd put it in pile and bundles and tie it up. 2 days later, we'd be selling that bad boy. And I was the only one of the sisters that had. See, the rest of them didn't think that they were just getting saved, but I was getting stored up. Yes, I was. To be honest with you, my grandpa told me all of the important things I needed to know, not only just for myself, but how to do it for more than myself and other people. And man, let me tell you something. when I went to school, I was one of the smartest kids in Houston school. One of the first things I did when I got to high school was I seeked out other kids that had an interest like me. You see, the rest of them want to be cheerleaders, and some of them want to be teachers, and some of them want to be this, that, and the other. I didn't want to be on the student council. I wanted to be on the debate team because they always said that Barbara had a magnetizing, powerful voice. And when she spoke from her belly, not from her throat. And she could draw people to her, make people listen to her, stand out. A real noisy group of people. Now, Barbara would just start either singing a song or speaking. So we went. My mother and my father listened to me, wanted to be on this debate team in Texas. Now, you're talking way back when it wasn't even popular for girls to open their mouths. I want to be on the debate team. I mean, I was the only girl on Texas high school debate team traveling with those boys. But see, I didn't have no problem with the boys because they all knew my daddy. And they know daddy didn't take no stuff. We traveled and we won first prize every time. When I graduated from high school, oh, wait a minute, in my senior year, I was girl of the year. 1952. I was girl of the year. Yes, I was. And I went to go on in the debate team for years. We won first places. I became very satisfied with myself. They wanted me. Everybody loved me. And then we start going out side of our little wall. We go other southern states. The bus driver would call up and find out where could we stop with these colored kids. Because where's the bathroom? You know, where the restaurant? Where they gonna eat? So we'd have to get that little shoebox full of chicken and some ball eggs and all that kind of stuff and travel with it. But then I won $200 scholarship. And I was sent to Boston. Whole different story. I could go anywhere I wanted to go. Never before had I eaten in a restaurant where you eat with white folks. Slept in a hotel. Didn't have to worry about going to the bathroom in the woods with the girl rolling up an old sheet or a blanket behind her. I was living on a debate team. That was my thing, to get out of my comfort zone and to get into the world. And that's where I learned the real forcefulness of racism. And I declared that I was going to fight it. I was going to fight it with all that I had. You see, when I was little, my mother was a midwife and a laundry woman. That meant that she traveled all around. She took me as the baby with her. And I would come and I'd carry the lantern if she needed it at night, and I'd carry all the other things that she would need. I'd help her carry the laundry. And I got exposed to a lot of different people. And that was a blessing in itself. Because when I grew up and began my march for freedom, guess what? I fought for everybody and not just one particular kind. And I want you to know something now about me. I wasn't a stick in the mud. Oh, I wore the big bang. I wore the skirts with the crinoline. I danced. I did everything else everybody else did. Yes, I did. But I had a trail to blaze. Now, when I said that I wanted to be a lawyer, that day when I saw Emma Jean Wilson come up there to Texas High School, I was scared of her. She was the loudest Negro I had ever seen. I didn't know Negroes came that loud. Not only was she loud, but she was the first Negro woman that I've ever known in my hometown that they called Miss. They didn't call no black women Miss. They called her Miss Wilson. And when she wanted to teach us something and we would come to her class, oh my gosh, she'd make us all feel real special. And as we come in, she would smile with us. And I said, you know what? I want to be a lawyer. Mama said, what? Said, girl, you better become a music teacher like your sister. Ain't no man gonna marry no woman that's a lawyer. And I said, well, Mama, I don't want to get married right now, no how. Said, I want to be a lawyer. She studied hard. Said she was going to college. Mom and Dad didn't have a lot of money. So they said, you got to go to Texas University. I didn't want to go there. I wanted to go to Howard. So I applied to Howard. Harvard, I'm sorry. Harvard. Now, Howard's a good school, don't get me wrong. It's down here in D.C., and it's one of our best schools. Oh, yes. I'll tell you that right now, but I wanted to go to Harvard. And I applied, and they turned me down. You know the first thing I thought why they turned me down? 2 strikes. I'm a girl, I'm a female, and I'm black. But they made it very plain that that was not the reason that they turned me down. They turned me down because on my school record they saw that I went to Texas Southern University. And they said that the curriculum at that school was not adequate to prepare me for the type of work that I would have to do at Harvard. So I didn't get to go. I went back to Texas University. Then I went to Boston University. When I went to Boston University, I saw that they were right. I wasn't prepared from an all-black school to go to Harvard. I worked like the dickens in Boston University. They gave no test. Teachers had no time. You had to do all on your own. And when I took the test, because they gave one at the end of the semester, when I took that test, it took me 2 weeks for me to go up and ask for my grade. I stayed in my room. I didn't speak to anyone. I was devastated. All I could think about was how I had disappointed my mom and my dad. How my sisters, both of them working along with both parents, spent every dime they could. How I couldn't go home on summer vacation, holidays, or anything because I was working at the school for every dime to stay in school. And now I failed. After 2 weeks, they said, Bob, why you didn't come to get your grade? I said, I don't want to know, I'm too scared. But I had paid with a 79. But I found out that day that it wasn't enough to study hard. It wasn't enough to know it all. I had to give something else. I had to be on my own and be out there doing extra stuff because everybody in that school appeared to have been in touch with lawyers and their family and their neighborhood and other places, and I wasn't. And that made a difference to me. From then on, I said to myself, I will read beyond what the teacher asked. I will do twice as much to keep up things. And that's how I got into places. That's how I got into the Senate. I failed twice going into the Senate. I didn't make it. Then finally I did in 1966. I got elected. Then I said, okay, this is fine. But the Senate has two things that worries me. They're all male and they're all white. And I want them to know that I didn't come here just to sit down and be a black woman in a position saying, I shall overcome. I want them to know that I came here to work and that I knew what my job was. I proved myself. Man, you get smart as you go along. You keep doing stuff, you get smart. Now I wanted to be into the House of Representatives now, because then I don't have to look at the law and read the law. I can help write the law. All right. So there I was. Barbara Joy, Grandpa Patton, little jump girl, all up in there. And I did my parents' craft. Because one of the first bills was called the Jordan Bill. It was an amendment that I wrote, civil rights. Then I went on further, made other amendments, open and broaden the equal opportunity to more than just black, but to make sure that all of the information, voters registration and all was written in Spanish also, so that everyone would have equal access. I tell you today that Barbara Jordan made strides in America where most people don't remember her only as the first black that came into the Senate. And we have to know more than that. It's all right to be the first, but Barbara loved to be the first. That was her thing, everything she strived at. If she didn't get it first, what you say now? Barbara has become one of the heroes of the Women's History Month. And she will remain one as long as we take her name to another level and give her the credence that she deserves. She looks back, I know now, and she thanks her parents and thanks her grandpa for the lessons that they gave her that were realistic, that would take her on a journey where she would have never been able to go on her own, even with the teachers, even with the role model of the lady coming on Korea Day. There is always that seasoned person that will take you beyond where the book has. Ladies and gentlemen, Barbara Jean Jordan. Yeah.